Have you ever woken up in the morning, looked in the mirror, and thought to yourself, I don't feel like myself anymore? Maybe it's the stiffness in your knees. Maybe it's the way your back aches when you try to stand. Or maybe it's something deeper. The truth is, growing older doesn't mean you have to feel weak, tired, or out of place in your own body. In fact, I'm here to tell you something most people won't. You can feel 20 years younger, even after 70, if you start doing just 3 simple things every day. And no, it's not about expensive treatments or complicated gym workouts. And it's definitely not about pretending you're 40 again. These are small, gentle actions that anyone can do, right from your living room, that can completely change how your body moves, how your muscles feel, and how confident you are in your own skin. So stay with me until the end. Because these 3 daily habits might just be the difference between living cautiously and living freely again. And if you're new here, welcome to Age Gracefully After 70 Years, the place where we don't just talk about aging, we talk about thriving. Let's walk this journey together, one step at a time. Let me ask you a question. When was the last time you picked up something heavy without wincing? Or stood up from a chair without needing a second to stabilize yourself? If you're like many of us over 70, those moments used to be automatic. But now, they feel harder. And it's not your fault. Starting around age 60, most people begin to lose up to 3% of their muscle mass every year if they're not doing something about it. That means less strength, slower movements, and a higher risk of falling. But here's the good news. Muscle loss is not permanent. It's not too late. It can be reversed. Let me tell you about Mr. Jerome. Jerome is 74. He was a former high school history teacher who loved gardening, until one day, he slipped on wet tiles and broke his wrist. That fall wasn't just a fluke, it was a wake-up call. His muscles had weakened, slowly, without him realizing. He started doing one small thing each day, just one. And within 6 months, he said, I feel better than I did in my 50s. So let's begin with the first thing you can do starting today. You've probably heard, just go for a walk, before, but we're not talking about casual strolling here. We're talking about activated walking, a purposeful 15-minute walk where you pay attention to your posture, your steps, and your breathing. Why is this important? Because when you walk intentionally, you engage your core. You stimulate muscle memory in your legs. You improve balance and prevent falls. And you wake up those sleepy muscles that haven't been used in a while. Let's go back to Jerome for a second. After his injury, his doctor gave him a prescription. Not a pill, but a 15-minute walk every morning. At first, he struggled. He needed a cane, and he walked slowly. But each day, he focused on posture, movement, breath. Not fast. Just consistent. Now, he walks unaided. And even helps his neighbor carry groceries. If you can do just 15 minutes of this each day, outside or even inside, you'll feel your strength begin to return. Even if it's just from your kitchen to your hallway. Because muscles don't need fancy equipment. It just needs daily use. This second habit is for those who can't stand for long, or don't feel safe walking alone. It's called the seated muscle wake-up. It takes 10 minutes. And it's done sitting down. Here's how it works. Sit in a sturdy chair. Place your feet flat on the floor. Tighten your thighs. Hold for 5 seconds. Release. Lift one knee slightly. Hold. Lower. Rotate your ankles. Circle them in both directions. Now tighten your belly slightly. Hold. Release. Each of these movements wakes up deep muscle groups that tend to weaken in old age. And here's something else. It improves your circulation, reduces swelling in your legs, and keeps your joints active. Margaret, a lovely lady from Michigan, told me this changed her life. She said, I used to feel like I was melting into the chair. But now, I feel like I'm sitting up in my own strength again. That's the goal here, not to become a bodybuilder, but to reclaim the strength inside you that's been resting too long. Now, for the third and final daily habit. It's called the 5-minute press. And it strengthens your arms, chest, shoulders, and even your back. You don't need a gym. You don't need a mat. You can do this on the floor, or against the wall. Here's how to do the wall version. Stand facing a wall, arms outstretched. Place both palms flat on the wall, shoulder width apart. Slowly lean in, as if doing a push-up against the wall. Exhale as you press back to standing. Do 10 of these. Then rest. If you're able, try this on the floor in a modified, knee push-up position. But if not, the wall is perfect. These presses activate upper body muscles that help you lift things, reach for cabinets, and even maintain posture. And when your upper body is strong, your confidence grows. You stand taller. You breathe easier. You move better. Now, I want to share something that might surprise you. Water. Yes, simple, clean water may be one of the most overlooked tools in helping you feel 20 years younger after 70. You see, as we age, our body's sense of thirst weakens. We may not feel thirsty, but our muscles, joints, and brain are crying out for hydration. Here's what happens when your body is well hydrated. Your joints move more easily. Your muscles recover faster. You avoid cramps and fatigue. You even improve your memory and mood. I once met a woman named Gladys. She was 81, and told me she was feeling more tired each day. She'd stopped walking because her knees felt like rusted hinges. We talked. I asked her a simple question. How much water do you drink? She blinked. I don't know. A cup of tea in the morning, maybe a bit of juice. That day, she made a tiny change, 2 glasses of water between meals. Within a week, she told me, my knees feel smoother. My steps don't hurt. Sometimes, we think we're slowing down because of age. But often, it's dehydration disguised as fatigue. So, make this your gentle daily promise. A glass of water when you wake. A glass mid-morning. 1 with lunch. 1 mid-afternoon. And 1 before bed, if your bladder allows. Your muscles are made of water. Let them drink. Now, let's talk about something just as important as movement or hydration. Your mindset. The way you speak to yourself, the words you use, have more power than you realize. When you say things like, I'm too old for this. It's too late. What's the point? You're not just speaking words. You're giving your brain instructions. But when you say, I'm getting stronger every day. My body is healing. I still have more life to live. Something magical happens. Your brain releases chemicals that support healing, energy, and motivation. I'll tell you about Mr. Darrell. He was 77 and recovering from a hip replacement. The doctor said it might take a year before he could walk normally again. But Darrell did something simple every morning. He looked in the mirror, smiled, and said aloud, I am healing. My legs are strong. Today, I rise. 3 months later, he was walking without a cane. Now, was it only the words? Of course not. He did the physical work too. But those words? They reminded him who he was. A fighter. A man who still had purpose. So here's your challenge. Every morning when you brush your teeth, whisper this. I am not done yet. My body still listens. I choose to rise today. Say it. Mean it. And let your body follow your belief. Let's slow down for a moment. You don't have to do everything at once. You don't have to be perfect. You don't need to follow some intense fitness plan made for 30-year-olds. You need this. One short walk. One seated muscle routine. One set of wall presses. A few glasses of water. A mindset that says, yes, I still can. That's it. 5 tiny victories each day. And those small wins? They begin to stack. 1 week in, your body moves a little better. 2 weeks in, your posture improves. 3 weeks in, your legs feel lighter. And by 1 month, you've created a routine that rewinds the clock, not all the way, but enough to make you feel alive again. And more than anything else, you start to trust yourself again. You trust your body. You trust your balance. You trust your strength. If you're still with me, I want you to know something. You are not alone. Thousands of seniors around the world are walking the same path. Some are just beginning. Some are further along. But we are all in this together. Here on Age Gracefully After 70 Years, we don't just give advice, we build community. So if you're willing, comment below. Type, I'm ready, if you're going to start these 3 things tomorrow. Type, still here, if you watched this far and feel inspired. Let's talk to each other. Let's lift each other. Your voice matters. Growing older is a gift, not everyone gets it. But how we use that gift, that's up to us. You don't have to accept weakness as your new normal. You don't have to give up on energy, or balance, or strength. Inside you is a younger self, waiting to stretch again. Waiting to walk again. Waiting to stand strong again. So remember. A purposeful walk each morning. A seated wake-up for your muscles. A few gentle presses for your arms and shoulders. A glass of water. A belief that your best days aren't all behind you. Let's take this seriously, one small day at a time. Your muscles are listening. Your bones are listening. Your heart is listening. Now, give them a reason to move. Thank you for being here with me. You are stronger than you think. And you are never too old to begin again.